When did women get the right to vote in their country? And we're starting this one off with a bang. Guys, I went down another random maps rabbit hole where I just go on Instagram, find all these interesting maps, wanted to share some of them, haven't done one of these videos in a while. And yeah, you can take a look at this. I'm just so interested in maps. They do such a good job at explaining data in a unique way. And there you can see, I'm surprised Africa is that far back. I thought Africa would have been much more recent for women getting the right to vote. Even the Middle Eastern countries, 1976 to 2000. I'm surprised Canada was later than the United States with how liberal they are, but just some interesting stuff there. Most exported product by country, you take a look at the United States, machines is first. A lot of mineral products there in Russia, along with, of course, Africa. Machines mainly, look at China, machines. Chemicals in India, their air is full of chemicals, no wonder, right? They have massive smog issues there. Once in a lifetime sight, the entire state of Texas is under a winter storm warning. This was that big storm that knocked out the entire power grid in Texas back in February of this year. And then the tweet says that number of once-in-a-lifetime weather events I've lived through in the last decade, it probably exceeds 20. But that one is serious. Literally every county, including the ones that border Mexico, in a winter storm warning. I don't know when's the last time that's happened. The longest living animals on Earth, the HYDRA. Boy, you think you could just take some of these animal cells and implant them into humans and make them live longer or something. That HYDRA thing, whatever it is, little grasshopper looking thing, immortal, potentially immortal. I don't think they know. Immortal jellyfish, potentially immortal. We don't know because it hasn't died yet. Black coral, that's not even a living thing. That's not an animal. They say, oh, it's living. It's just sitting on the bottom of the ocean. Come on. Now, I have to say, this frustrates me. The red is liberal. The blue is conservative. I don't know why they switched this, but you can see this is if Canada used the Electoral College. You look at this at first and you're like, no way Republicans would win Canada with how liberal it is. Yeah, because they switched it. So the red is, I believe, yeah, it has to be. The red has to be liberal because Canada is mainly liberal. So you can take a look at, that's if they use the Electoral College, 313 to 128. Canada's more liberal than the United States. I don't know what the exact numbers are in Canada, maybe 65-35. It's obviously not that black and white. There's some independence, things like that. Shortest lived empires. The first Mexican empire lasted, I don't think that's correct. I'm guessing there's an empire that lasted a day and then got taken over or something. But the first Mexican empire lasted 2 years, not to be outdone by the second Mexican empire that lasted 3 years. So good for them. You can take a look at some of those. But again, seriously, there's got to be an empire that lasted a day and then got ousted or something like that. Homelessness in the United States, we know the two big ones, New York, California, really the West Coast, Washington, Oregon, California. How about Alaska dealing with a lot of homeless people? That's not a fun place to be homeless with how cold it can get. Look at Hawaii. Hawaii's second on the list behind New York by one. Busiest airports in 2019. So you got all the hubs, all the connector flights. I was really surprised. I understand Atlanta's a big city. Atlanta was number one ahead of airports in China like Beijing, LA, Tokyo, Japan, Chicago. But I've been to the Atlanta airport. It's a big airport, but I think the one in Denver is bigger than it. I was shocked that the busiest airport in the world in 2019 was in Atlanta. That just surprises me. Squid Game is a massive global hit. So I think I took this screenshot a month ago or maybe a few months ago when it was. Look at that though, man. I wonder how many views Squid Game got or how many watch hours Squid Game got on Netflix compared to everything else. I'm shocked The Witcher is that high. The Witcher is number 2 when you're talking about Google search volume for, that's selected series. But I'm guessing that's the biggest series, right? I didn't remember Witcher ever being that big. Tiger King, I think Tiger King's overrated, man, but I guess people liked it. Everyone was inside, but I've seen a few graphs where it's what's the most searched thing on Google, and Squid Game was so far and away number 1. I don't think Netflix releases views or anything, but there was something it had 32 million views in some, I don't know how long, but it's crazy how popular Squid Game was. This is one of those multiplication tables, and you can see the darkest What color is that? Aqua blue? The darkest blue is the most error. So when I was a kid, we only did it up to times 10. These kids are going to 12 now. They're on another level. So what is the most error? 12 times 8 looks like a big one. 11 times 12 is a big one. Yeah, I mean, we didn't go up to 12. And then 8 times 6 is, I could understand that. 8 times 6 is miserable. Guys, in my prime, you should have seen me in like 5th and 6th grade. I would run through these multiplication tables. I was literally the best in my class at addition, subtraction, 2nd, 3rd grade. And then when we get to algebra, it's fake math. I was horrific at algebra, but again, algebra is fake math. This is the real stuff. And I mean, we didn't go up to 12 now. We didn't do 12. That's a bit excessive. We didn't do that. Political position of the biggest Asian government parties in 2021. As you can see, we've got our friends China as far left. It's interesting. India and Russia are both classified as just right-wing. There's actually a lot of right-wing countries you can see. What is that, Mongolia? Is that Mongolia? I need to learn my geography again. It looks like it's left-wing. The most corrupt and least corrupt countries. So the blue is the least corrupt, although people will argue it. But I mean, the blue has to be the least corrupt. And then all those African countries have to be the most corrupt. Let's be honest. Even Russia in there a little bit. Political positions of the biggest European governing parties in 2021. I thought everyone in Europe was left-wing. You see a lot of, right-wing there. A lot of blue is right-wing, red is left-wing. I'm surprised that we see that much blue, honestly. But it is interesting. I thought all of this was going to be red. The last time the Democrats won every U.S. state, so the last time they won all of those states in the middle of the United States was 1964. It's interesting to see kind of how things changed throughout the United States. They won Montana in 1992. There was actually a funny poll back in 2020 that it was like Trump was only up 4 points or something on Biden. It was hilarious. In Montana, and they were like, ooh, maybe. But as you can see, like some of those states in the middle of the United States, not many electoral votes, that's good if you're a Democrat, not many electoral votes. Last time they won Texas, there's been a lot of talk about Texas flipping to the Democrats. I mean, you've got all of these people that are Democrats moving from Democratic states because they're so bad into Texas and trying to turn it into what they moved from. So they're trying to flip it. And then the last time Republicans won every U.S. state, Minnesota, wow. Minnesota, wait, is that, oh, come on. So that is what I think it is. The District of Columbia, is that true? Somebody Google, have the Republicans ever won D.C.? Because I doubt they have. It's hilarious. D.C. is such a small population, so it's like a crazy difference. Like Democrats win D.C., win the District of Columbia by like 85 points every year. But that surprises me that Minnesota has not been won by the Republicans since 1972. California's been won more recently by the Republican Party. So very interesting stuff there. Approval rating for Joe Biden. Is this by 538? I think I got one from 538. So I believe this is Biden's approval rating from 538 throughout November. As you can see the switch there, not too surprising. That is January to November, and I think it's kind of stayed right around there. When you get many of these polls, they're going to skew normally more favorably towards the liberal side because you've got a lot of liberal pollsters, and the fact that Biden's disapproval rating, you know whose disapproval rating is worse than Biden's? Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was literally at like 29% approval rating. I don't know if she got bumped up or not, but that is horrific. United States presidential election 2020, ages 19 to 29. So this is a really interesting thing here. When you go through all the different age groups, 18 to 29, 30 to 44, 45 to 60, 60 and plus, they're all relatively close, whether they lean Democrat or lean Republican. It's normally like 3 or 4 points different, except the age group 18 to 29-year-olds. And I think it's pretty obvious why that's the case. Many of these kids that have zero political affiliations get thrown into these colleges that have, like I was thinking to myself, I wonder what's the actual number on liberal professors versus conservative professors in colleges in the United States. Like, I would love to do just a straw poll where you take maybe just the Ivy League schools and it's like, give me an actual percentage. Like, are we talking 98%? are liberal, 94%. And you got to think many of these professors are getting more confident, are getting more cocky, and bringing politics to the forefront to where they're actually influencing many of these young kids. I'm not saying young kids aren't probably more liberal. They probably are. The younger you are, normally, the more liberal you are. But when it comes to the different age groups in America, 18 to 29-year-olds are so much more liberal than conservative. You almost have to ponder and wonder the influence many of these colleges have had. Nobody lives here. This is why I love maps. Parts of New Zealand with no inhabitants. There's a lot of New Zealand that just is completely empty. I didn't realize that. Countries with the most islands. You're joking me. There's no way a country has over 200,000 islands. Come on. Where are those islands at? What is it, like a little rock is an island or something? Come on. How do you have that many islands? You have 200,000 islands? That's bigger than your entire country, folks. There's no way. Coastal pollution, the worst offenders. Guys, shield your eyes. This is pro-American propaganda. But they tell us we produce some of the worst, we're the worst polluters in the world. Well, guess what? The dark green is the best countries, and oh, it looks like America is the best. And how about South America? South America is such an interesting place because nobody talks about it. I feel like Africa has more influence politically than South America. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating, but seriously, nobody talks about South America, and apparently they have terrible pollution. I didn't even know anything about this. I would have thought China would have been the worst. By the way, there's no way India is not red. I mean, their air is India's air is basically a cloud. That's how smoggy it is. The world's most expensive cities. The biggest surprise here is that fake city Dubai is not on this list, right? Paris at 104. Paris is more expensive than New York. New York is more expensive than Los Angeles. Singapore is more expensive than both New York and Los Angeles. Britain's lost empire. I don't like empires like this personally, where you rule over areas and like your land area isn't connected. Like what Mongolia's empire was the best because it was just this massive swath of land. This empire, I mean, you're ruling across the Atlantic Ocean. I understand you have the governing power, but to me, you gotta have all the land connect. It makes it look nicer. I'm sorry, it does. Countries with capybaras. Looks like only, this was a little bit surprising. Capybara is a little cute animal. Looks kind of like a giant rat / dog. And they're only found in South America. You can see them wandering all over South America. Most Googled Central American country. The United States, out of those choices, Google's, Costa Rica over Panama, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, places like that. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that the United States Googles Costa Rica the most. Now these are just some funny names for things. Disappointment Island, that is legitimate. Google it, folks. It's in New Zealand. We got another one in New Zealand. Useless islands. There must be a lot of useless islands in, I think, Sweden. What was that? I mean, Sweden has like apparently over 200,000 islands. Sadness Street. I'm not even sure what country that is. What offers citizenship, land or blood? If born in the blue nations, you are automatically offered citizenship irrespective of your parents' nationalities. If born in the red nation, your citizenship depends on your parents. That'd be interesting if I was born in America, but I wasn't an American citizen. That'd be very interesting. That's how it is in all of Europe and Russia. What's on the other side of the Atlantic? So this is basically if you just went a straight line across. For me, it looks like Portugal. Even Madrid looks like even. Madrid is like even with New York. That's interesting. Every year on July 8th at 11:15, 99% of the world population gets sunlight. I might have to dispute this. Look at Australia. All of Australia is in darkness. All of Australia doesn't make up more than 1% of the population. Maybe, I don't know. It just seems a little interesting. But that is a funny fact. July 8th, 11:15, everyone is in sunlight. Now, I guess not technically because if it's cloudy, but you're in daylight basically, I think. I think that's what it's supposed to mean. But guys, that is going to do it for this edition of just some random maps I found off of Instagram. It's so interesting. I'll just screenshot them and then just talk about them for a little bit. But guys, make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.